There are strange things done beneath the midnight sun by the men who mine for gold, and the Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake Lavarge I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee came from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, and he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. You talk about cold. Through the Parker's fold it stabbed like a driven nail. If your eyes were closed, then the lashes froze, till sometimes you couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed, and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he looked so low that I couldn't say no, and he said with a kind of a moan, "It's this cursed cold, and it's got right hold, till I'm chilled clean through the bone. Now it ain't being dead, it's my awful dread of an icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, it passed last need as a thing to heed, and I swore I wouldn't fail. And we started off at the crack of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and raved all day of his home in Tennessee, and before nightfall a corpse is all that was left of Sam McGee. Well, a promise made is
There wasn't a breath.
Pardon?
There wasn't a breath in that land of death.
There wasn't a breath in that land of death as I hastened, horror driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. He was lashed to the sleigh and he seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and bones, but
Your brawn and
you
brains.
promised true, and it's up to you to cremate these last remains." Well, a promise made is a debt unpaid, is that it?
Yeah.
And the trail is its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart now I curse that load. When the long, long nights and by the lone firelight, and the huskies round in a ring, I cried out my woe to the homeless snow. My God, how I loathed that thing. And every day the quiet place seemed to heavier and heavier grow. And on I went, though the dogs were spent, and the drug was getting low. I felt half dead, but I swore I wouldn't give in. And I'd often sink to the shameful thing, and it heartened with a grin. Then I came to the marge of Lake Lavarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, and I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. I looked at it, and I thought a bit. Then I looked at my frozen chum, and here said I with a sudden cry, "Is my crematorium." Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The same floor just roared, and the surface, and the flames that roared, and the surface. I buried a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. When I took for a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so, but the stars came out, and they danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was filled with dread, but I bravely said I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide, and there sat Sam, looking cool and calm, amid the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, "Please, close that door. 'Tis fine in here, but I greatly fear you lit in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, this is the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done neath the midnight sun by the men who mile for gold, and the Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake Lavarge I cremated Sam McGee.
Hey!